Hey everybody, David the AI Guide here. Welcome to another episode. Thank you so much for tuning in, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as well. Today we're going to talk about a breakthrough in using machine learning to crack the body's code. So each of us has thousands of proteins in our body, and these proteins regulate most of our body functions. So for example, our antibodies are a protein, and these proteins regulate cell activity. So it tells your cells what to do, when to do it, etc. Some of the most common diseases are caused by cells going crazy, and that includes cancer, and it includes neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, dementia, stuff like that. So the breakthrough comes out of Cambridge University in the UK, probably the premier learning institution in the world, one of them for sure. But the breakthrough is that they figured out that they could use the same AI NLP, natural language processing systems, that Amazon, Facebook, and others use to recommend things, Netflix, to recommend what you watch or who you connect with on Facebook and stuff like that, to study proteins. So of these thousands of proteins in the human body, only a very few are understood at this point, which means that largely what proteins do in the body is not understood. And so this would be a huge breakthrough, right? And the reason why is because cancer is caused by proteins going crazy, as I said a minute ago. So what they used these existing algorithms for is they said, learn what proteins do, see what their normal activities are, and predict their future activities, which is exactly what the algorithm on Netflix and Facebook does. So they were able to have the algorithm learn the equivalent of what it has taken scientists decades to learn, and the algorithm did it very, very quickly. And then the algorithm started to be able to predict what would cause proteins or what would trigger them to do something unusual. So as they continue to use these algorithms and they make it more and more sophisticated, like we were talking about with NLP, GPT-3 was 10 times as powerful as the best previous NLP algorithm. They will be able to significantly improve these algorithms in the next couple of years, and they'll have more and more data to run through about proteins, protein behavior, and proteins in bad environments, meaning, where proteins have trigger cancer and stuff like that. So this is really going to help people at major research universities understand what triggers these proteins to go crazy. And then with that knowledge, what they can do is develop treatments or preventions to stop the proteins from going crazy in the first place. We're talking about down the road the ability to prevent cancer, to stop it from happening, or with Alzheimer's or dementia, they can mitigate all of the symptoms using these techniques. And this is what the researchers at Cambridge are saying. So they're extremely excited about this, and it really was sort of a mental leap to think that, hey, why don't we try the recommendation engines that are used on major platforms that people around the world use to see if we can use them to understand the behavior of proteins better. This was a considerable leap of logic, and hats off to the people in Cambridge. And one of the most interesting things that the lead researcher at Cambridge says is that these algorithms are going to be able to see connections and triggers that a human would never be able to see, because the interactions are so complicated and there's just too much data to digest for a human being. So this is the good side of AI, right? And this is where AI can be of tremendous benefit to humans and society, because these diseases have a huge cost to society. Billions or trillions of dollars of cost treating people with the diseases, or the cost of caregivers' time, whether family, friends, or paid caregivers. All this is saved for more constructive uses to take society to the next level. So this is major. This is really major that they had this thought to use NLP algorithms to figure out proteins, and it appears to be working, and that the results look very promising for being able to develop treatments or outright preventions for some of the biggest diseases afflicting mankind today. So this is a big breakthrough. There's going to be a lot more. And as the article said, the researcher in the article said, it's a lot of this is only going to be possible because of AI. So what does this mean for you? Well, it means that there's a lot of settings you can work in to support researchers doing this kind of research. You can work as a lab assistant without having a PhD and doing the research. You can support these people and work with them in managing the practical aspects of their lab, or you could manage the financial aspects of their lab, or you could manage the marketing and outreach aspects of their lab. So there are so many career possibilities related to these academic research institutions, and working for a major university like this is a very great thing, because you have good pay, outstanding health care, and great retirement benefits. So something to consider for sure, and that's without going through the time and expense of getting a master's or a PhD to do the actual research. These folks need lots of support to do the research that they need. So thanks. Click the link below for your free resource on AI. You got to learn AI. You got to learn as much as you can about it, because your career will be dominated by AI, even if you don't know how to program it. And the explanation of that is in the very last video. So thanks. Take care. We'll see you next time. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Medium. Articles every 2 weeks coming out. An article about convergence came out a week ago. So thanks a lot. Take care, and we'll see you next time.